Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the next thrilling, exciting, immutable, irreproachable, irreplaceable, castigated, vindicated, vilified, ameliorated, taciturn, and saturnine episode of the section of the Reading Cow from Another World show thing that this is, and we're still learning to read Chinese, and I just want to. But we are going into our first classic. We're actually going into the classic text, and we're going to do it with the Windows 10 input method. And it may not be the best input method, but I have some warnings for you to help you get through it. Now, it's good. If you want to read Chinese, it's good to write it a little bit. If you go and you're working in China in a school or whatever, and you have to do a lot of grading papers and typing up your lesson plans and stuff, you're probably not going to be able to write as much, because you're going to have to write so fast and so much that you're going to shift over to typing. But I can't emphasize enough that it's really helpful. I personally, I did about 4 years of writing exercises with writing exercise books. I did about 3 years with adult learning handbooks. And then when I was in China, I really recommend this more than anything else. I'm going to introduce you to some writing writing kecheng, and it's for kids, so it would be called something like You see that? Okay, so can you read that? That's right, the way the computer figured that I was trying to write. I hope all of you can read elementary student, 小学生. The next word is yingbi, which means it's not a soft tip writing instrument. It's a hard tip writing instrument, like a pencil or something like that. And then shufa is basically calligraphy writing method. So I'm going to enter that now and give you a link. Control V, right? Now, this is, I hope your Chinese is at a level where you can pretty much understand this teacher. She's a very nice elementary school shufa teacher. So she teaches little children in their little first grade classes and stuff how to write properly. And I so recommend this over adult curriculum that I experienced. I was just like, oh God. And another thing I want to add is, folks, there's no easy way but the hard way. About if you really are serious about handwriting, about 2 hours a day for 7 years. Yeah, that's a reasonable expectation. All Chinese kids will do that. So that's what you should aim for. And if you were like me and you had to go teach in a college classroom and you had to write out your lesson plans and write instructions for the students and then grade their papers and write down, what they did right and what they did wrong, and explain to them how to fix the things. You're going to have to write so much that you won't have time anymore to practice your handwriting. So on the one hand, you may be in a situation where you're just never going to have the opportunity to really develop your handwriting. On the other hand, if you think about it now, you can realize that your learning time, how precious it is, the time that you have to write. And if you get to have your style, your writing style is going to emerge naturally as you write. And people in China, it's almost like astrology or something. They look at your handwriting and they're like, oh, we can just tell so much about you, and it's so meaningful, and that they really interpret handwriting and stuff. So it's really kind of a wonderful experience if you decide you want to get into it. Okay, without further ado, I'm gonna delete this, and we're gonna start with some family names, and I'm going to try to shoot for 24 per lesson. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it, but let's just give it a try and see if we can do it. Okay, Zhao. Okay, now with this input method, I could the first line of the classic is Jiao Qian Sun Li, right? And I have to have the character for Zhao and the character for Qian and Sun and Li, right? But if I type that out, that input method, wow, it really doesn't do well. But if I type first the Zhao, the input method is going to put the name instance of that Zhao very early on. So I type Zhao, Qian, and look, number 2 is the one that I want. Sun, and you should all know Sun, right, by now. Sun's a Bingfa, the art of war. Li. And that would be number 4. Jiao Qian Sun Li. And then I'm going to go to the next line. Zhou Zheng Wang. Zhou. Look, the very first one is the one that I want. Ooh. The third one. Zheng. Number 4. Wang. I hope you all know this one. Number 1. And then Feng Chen Chu Wei. Chu Wei. Feng. The third one. Chen. Second one. Chu. Ooh, thank you. The first one. Wei. And the second one. Jiang Shen. Jiang Shen. Han Yang. The third one. The second one. And Yang. The second one. Yang. Drew, the first one. Qin, the second one. Everybody should know that one. And Yo, second tone. Yo, second entry. Xu, third tone. He Lü, Shi Zhang, Huh? The second one. New, that should be LV, right? Type LV. Pick the second one. And sh. Oh, bless me. The third one. John. And that should be the second one. Okay, so. For beginners, oh my goodness. Okay. You know, I thought, well, everybody knows Zhao. You know, my goodness, it's just so. I shouldn't spend time on that, but then I thought again, and I was like, oh well, you know, maybe people don't know. So let's go back, and let's type in. Well, no, let's pretend like we don't know that it's written ZHAO. We don't know, so think for a second. What might the radical be? And you know, personally, I have known this character for so long that I hadn't looked it up. And so let me show you what I did. I went and I said, you know, isn't it this one, right there? But see, it's almost like the other one has earth, and then under the earth there's a person under the earth or whatever. So that's not quite it. And so really, I think it's going to be the whole component of the character. In other words, this whole section. So what this is like earth, and then beneath the earth, and then a person. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 strokes, right? So I look, and whoop, up there. Ooh, there it is. 7's in the 7-stroke category. Okay, now what do I have in addition to that? I have 2 more strokes. That means it should be. There it is. That's the one I need. Okay, and look, it says surname and the name of an ancient state. So when you're reading Chinese history, you often see Zhao, right? Because it was a name of a country, right? And this is a name, a surname that comes from the location or the country, right? Okay. Success. Okay, now how about this one? Qian. Oh my God, I hope everybody knows that. That's money. Mr. Money. So if your name is Qian, it's like, my name is Mr. Money. Qian Xiansheng. Okay, so this first radical here is actually a radical for money. So we look at it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and maybe 6. So I think it's in the 5 or 6 category. All right. Whoa, there it is in the 5. So that, you know, sometimes that little hook, when it comes up, it counts as another stroke. But sometimes it doesn't. Go figure. So I click this, and the other part of the character was what 5 more strokes, and lo and behold, there it is. Qian. And that gives me that it's the second tone, and it's this plus 5, this radical plus 5. Success, we found it. Okay, Sun. This is like, it's a child and then something small. So Sun, we look for 1, 2, 3 in the 3-stroke category. 3 plus 3. Okay, so we go back. We go to the 3-stroke category, and there it is. 3 strokes. And then in the 3-stroke group, we're hoping we're going to... Oh, there it is. Okay. Sun, grandchild, descendant, and also the surname, as in Sun's Bingfa. Bingfa, and Sun Bing, who's his descendant or whatever. Okay, now let's go back. Success. Li. Okay. On top here we have Mu, right, which is wood. And how many strokes is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 strokes plus 3. So we go to 4 strokes, radical strokes. In the 4-stroke category, we look around and see if we can find it. There it is. And then we add 3. We go to the 3 group. 1, 2, 3, and see if we can find it. Do you see it? Let's see. There it is. Third tone. The plum. I think I mentioned that before. It's like this is somebody that has a plant name, and it's a surname, and I believe that's the first emperor of Tang Dynasty. Okay, so where are we? We're on our first line, and let's see how we're doing on time. Woo, we got 4 minutes until class is over. So let's go to the next character and just, there's no easy way but the hard way. Okay, so Joe, I mean, you use this like for words like weekend, Joe Mo, right? So, and it's the Zhou dynasty for oh my geez, Louise. So I don't remember ever actually looking this character up because I just learned it so early that I never had the occasion to look it up in the dictionary. So let's look and see what would happen if we didn't know. Well, I would guess that I had this, but notice this one here, it doesn't have that little hook on the end of it. So I'm going to look in there anyway just to be sure. And nope, it's not in there. That frame little thing has like a hook that goes, it's like a left hook, right? So that doesn't work for us. And then inside it, isn't that the earth tool, right? So, you would, if you didn't know it was Joe, you would go next and you would look for into 3 strokes tool and see if it comes up. And how many strokes is that? It's got a call, which would be 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5. So let's look down here. I don't see it, folks. It's not there, right? So where is that? Now we're coming to our last resort. We have tool, which is 3 strokes, and the frame itself, which is, I think it's 2 strokes. So that's 5 strokes. So what if we try call plus 5? Call plus 5. Okay, let's go here. Oh, look, there it is right there. It's a call plus 5. Now, somebody, if you've been reading from a lot and you already know something like this is Joe, you can type it. You can type it in and get this information right here. See this? Call plus 5. And that's telling you, oh, this is where it is. It's going to be under the call radical. Okay. Ooh. Second tone. Now, what do you think? Should I look up call plus 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. You think that might work? Let's go try it. Okay. Go to radical strokes and pick call and look for the number 4 category. Is it going? Doom, 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 doom. 4. Call plus 4. Is that it? No. Up. There it is. Ooh. Second tone. The kingdom of Wu, right? And, yeah, I don't know. There's some books like the Romance of the Three Kingdoms and the Shuihu tribe, the Outlaws of the Marsh, which is also called Water Margin, depending on it. And you learn, you get familiar with these names very early on. So that's kind of how I guess I got to know them, is because of reading. So reading is fundamental. Okay, now the next character is Zheng. And it has this little B thing. And is it on the right side or the left side? The way you look these up is you look them up by this thing that sort of looks like a B. And you look at, if it's on the right side, this is on the right side, then that would be plus 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's go back. And then here it is on the right side. Went right to it. And we want to look for the 6, the category 6. And no, there, yeah, there it is. Okay. It's blue, so that means a 4th tone. Zheng. It's the name of a state in today's Henan, and also a surname. Okay, that brings us. Well, you know, I could go look up Wang, but that's just a radical by itself. So what is it? It's a 4-stroke radical, I believe. And so it's just going to be in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here. Right? So there it is. So, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of the current installment of the episode of the chapter of the section of the Reading Cow from Another World, with learning how to read Chinese. And the classic of hundreds of Chinese names. So we're opening up a whole new frontier for the enlargement of our brain matter. And I hope you enjoyed it. And that brings us to the ending of the closing of the finality of the loquacious cow from another world. And until next time, goodbye.